Yeah, I don't know about what happened to that first video, but my headphones were still connected and they sitting right here on my printer. So I don't know if y'all heard me or not, but I'm not gonna repeat myself. We just gonna, hey. That's why it's called Unconcealed Conversations, because we are revealing conversations in the books that we read. And this is the first book that we're going to start with, is the Holy Bible. Hey, okay, right? So as we read, we're going to reveal conversations to us that we could dive deeper in, or I can dive deeper in and you could just listen. You know what I'm saying? You could just listen. And I'm grateful for y'all to just listen, because I like to talk. And I like people to listen, and I like seeing the numbers go up, and I like seeing the lights go up, and I like seeing the comments, and I like talking to people, things like that. But I think books and stories are very interesting, because it's always a hidden gem somewhere in something, whether it's a movie, whether it's a book, whether, whatever. God is the head of my household, so that's why we started with this one, okay? So, we went through, yesterday we was talking about the rainbow in the sky. We learned that it's a difference between a rainbow in the sky and a rainbow in the clouds. The rainbow in the clouds is an agreement, a covenant that God made with Noah, saying that I will never, Noah and the living creatures, that I will never destroy the earth like that again. AKA, I will never hurt you in that way again. That's my covenant, and that's my agreement with you, that I would never do that again. So when you coming out of a situation and you look up in the sky and you see the cloud with the rainbow, that's God's promise, reminder. Because a lot of us, we need to see things. We need to see things. We need confirmation. We need validation and things like that. And that's all God is doing, is just validating and confirming that you will never have to go through that again. And that's what we talked about yesterday, which was a really cool. I enjoyed it. When I got off of here, I wasn't tired or anything. I can't wait till tomorrow. That's really what it is. I can wait till tomorrow, and tomorrow is today. Like my daughter say, tomorrow is today. Okay? Because when she want to do something, she be like, okay. And I say, okay, we could do that tomorrow. And so, the next day get here, she say, Mom, it's tomorrow today? I say, yeah, tomorrow is today. She say, okay, you remember when you told me? She's 6, y'all, so y'all know they never forget anything. You remember when you told me? I'm like, yeah. So that's tomorrow's today, and we on chapter 21. I could not get off this one for the sake of me. I had to go give me a snack, give me a water. I had give me a little cool cup, a little lemonade cool cup, and I sat there and I ate it. But I just could not get past 21. I could not read chapter 22 until I refilled myself with my lemonade and my snack. When I refilled myself, I finished. I think I got to chapter 31. Genesis chapter 31. But neither here or there. That's me rambling, y'all. I stopped at Genesis 21, and I'm going to read it. If you don't want to read it, then, hey. I'm not a scholar with these names, so bear with me, because I will get better. Okay. Genesis 21. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said. The Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the Lord the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah had, Isaac. Prior to that, those of you that was not with me yesterday or didn't listen to the video from yesterday, God had promised Sarah a child. What he didn't tell her is when she was going to have the child. But he did promise her that he would bear her a child, right? Which he did. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old. Don't get stuck on the ages, okay? Don't get stuck on the ages. Just know they was older than what they were supposed to be. They wasn't no teenage. It wasn't no teenage pregnancy. Okay, this was not a teenage pregnancy. This was a 55 probably year-old woman going into her OBGYN because she know that something been acting a little funny down there. So she went down there and she, checked out, found out she pregnant. Or she went to her PCP and she found out she pregnant. That's what this is. This is what that related. So don't get stuck on she was 100 and he was 120. Don't get stuck on that. Okay? They was old and they... Let me not talk because I had my daughter at 30. So I can't talk, but she was older. And so it reads, and Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God made me laugh so that all that hear would laugh with me. Made a fool out of her, huh? I'm sorry. She believed now, huh? Y'all think Sarah believed now? Okay. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children stuck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. I think I'm about to sum this up. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. This is the part that I want to get to. Genesis 21, 9. Genesis chapter 21 and 9. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had born into Abraham mocking, where she said unto Abraham, cast out the bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heirs of my son, even Isaac. Basically, I'm going to give y'all a little backstory. Sarah didn't know if she was going to have kids, so she moved to alternative. She had plan B. Her plan B was, hey, I'm going to give my maid to have my baby. She going to be my surrogate. Hagar was supposed to be Sarah's surrogate. Everybody fell along with what Sarah wanted. Even though Abraham could have told Sarah no. But that's another story. They end up having relations. She ended up getting pregnant. And when she got pregnant, Sarah and Hagar was not seeing eye to eye. I believe Sarah got a little jealous. Like her plan kind of backfired on her. And it had nothing to do with Abraham. And it had nothing to do with Hagar. It all had to do with Sarah. Sarah wasn't strong enough to have somebody else to be her surrogate, especially someone that she see on a day-to-day basis. Sarah wasn't strong enough for the things that she was asking for. But that's neither here or there. What she was saying was, they end up having a baby. The baby name is Ishmael, right? What she was end up saying that Isaac became a certain age. Let's say he turned 18, right? And they was throwing him a party for turning 18. They invited... Well, he probably wasn't 18. He probably was like 7, 5 or 7 or something like that. But they had him a birthday party. When they had Isaac a birthday party, Ishmael and Hagar came, right? And they said Ishmael was making fun of Isaac. I don't know what he was saying. I'm curious if, when I get there, I'm going to ask Sarah, so... how was he mocking your son? Exactly what did he do? Did he say, nanny boo boo, he's my daddy too? Like, what was he actually saying to make you say, get that woman and her child up out of here? Because if I was Hagar, my child, ma'am, I had this child for you. I didn't have no say in having this child. I had this child because I was ordered to have this child because of your insecurities, and you didn't trust God enough to know that he was going to bless you with a son. I did this because of you. I'm helping you out. And now you treat me like an outcast. Let's keep reading, right? That's Hagar, right? She said, I want you and your son to go. You mocking my son? It's time for y'all to get up out of here. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad. Basically, lad means child. And because of thy bondwoman, I'm going to say AKA surrogate, right? Because she had Ishmael by Abram, okay? He wasn't Abraham then. He was Abram. Okay, let's keep going. In all that Sarah hath and said unto thee, in her voice, she was mad, y'all. For the Isaac shall they see, she was upset about her son and how what's going on. She was mad about her plan. Her plan didn't work out the way that she thought it was gonna work out, but now she's taking it out on Hagar and Ishmael. And also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. And when I read that part, I was like, so God really taking ownership of Ishmael. Even though Abram did what he wanted to do or did what he thought he could do, God never told Abram to take care of that child. God never told Abram that, you know, you're going to have to leave Sarah and be with Hagar and Ishmael. God never told him none of that. God was just like, he my seed. He my seed. Let's keep going. And Abram rose up early in the morning and took a bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on his shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered off in the wilderness of Beersheba. I want to stop and I want to digress that part right there. That means that man had to choose. Sarah put him in another position to choose now. Not only did Sarah put him in the position to have a child because she didn't believe enough that God would bless her with the child, then she put him in another situation to say, hey, it's either me or them. It's either her and her child or me and Isaac. You need to make a choice, and you need to send her away. She can't be here. She messing up the dynamic of everything. I don't know who life I'm talking to right now. I don't know I might even be speaking of my life. But he had to send you away. He had to send you and your child away. This for my single parents. She had to send you and your child away. Because what they conquered up, or what she was conjuring up, wasn't working out in her plan every time. I'm pretty sure they had to have a conversation to say, are we inviting Ishmael and Hagar to this party? Somebody had to say yeah, because they was there. They was there. But Abram had to choose between Ishmael and Hagar, and he had to choose between Isaac and Sarah. And we all know, he was Abraham at that point. My bad. Scratch that out, right? And he chose Isaac and Sarah. And the water was sent in a bottle, and she cast the child under one of the bushes. And she went and set her down, and she went and sat down over against him a good far away. Basically, it was some distance between them. So she set him down under the shade tree, and she probably walked 50 feet away from him. Okay, that's what Hagar did. Because he didn't have no more milk. He didn't have no more diapers. She didn't have no more, bread. What he sent her away with, she ran out. She ran out. And she went and sat far away from him, and he was a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of my child. Let me not see the death of the child. I don't want to see my child die, because I don't have nothing no more. I don't have the things that I had to keep this person alive, like food, shelter, and water. I can't even provide the basic necessities to even care for this child. I can't provide the material things for this child to day-to-day life. I cannot do it. Please don't let me see this child die. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. When it say lift up her voice, she cried out for help. You may not have the things, your bare necessities for your food, your water, and shelter. She didn't have that for her child. She had all of that when she was living with Abraham and Sarah. She had all that. She didn't have to worry about none of that. But when Abraham sent on along her way, he sent her with bread, water, but no shelter. She lost the foundation of her life that she did not have a choice in. But let's keep going. And God heard the voice of the lad. That's the part that caught me. God didn't even answer to Hagar. God, she lifted up her voice. She cried. I mean, she was like, I don't know how to do this. What can I do? Please don't let my child die. I don't want to see my child. She doing all that, and God never mentioned anything or said anything until he started hearing the child cry. Yeah, that kind of really touched me, because sometimes when we feel like God can't hear us, he hears us through our children. He hears us through our children. Our children have to get to the point where I'm crying out for help and my mama can't even help me. My mom can't even help me. So God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called out to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, What am I thee, Hagar? Fear not, for I God have heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad and hold him in your hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes and saw a well of water. She went and filled the bottles with the water, gave to the lad to drink. And God was with the lad. And he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became a great archer. And I had to look that up. And that's a person that bow and arrow. They are very great at what they do with the bow and arrow. And I wanted to name this aim, bullseye or something like that, because at the end of the day, it say he still became a successful person. Your child, he still became successful. He still became great at something. Even though Abraham had to choose between Sarah and Isaac, or Hagar and Ishmael, Hagar, I still believe, what I got from this is that Hagar believed in God so much. Her faith was so strong in God so much that it passed down to her child. Some way, some form. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie with Jamie Foxx. I can't even think of it right now. But it's with Jamie Foxx, and he had this type of power in the world. And his power was so great that it got passed down to his daughter. That's how faith and wisdom and life, money, wealth, that's how things are passed down. Just like those material things can be passed down, money can be passed down, whatever the case might be, can be passed down. Your spirit, your faith can be passed down too. The way that you believe in God, or your faith, wherever that lies, to make you have a great conscience, that at least have a conscience, first of all, you know what I'm saying? Keep yourself accountable. That can definitely be passed down to your child. But your child have to see you do it. She was not afraid to do this in front of her child. She cried out so much that it made the child cry out. It made the child cry out. And she opened up her eyes, and God provided. I am here to tell somebody that no matter what you're going through, if you think that, I'm a single parent, I can't do it and things like that, or I'm down to my last straw, I'm here to tell you that God will definitely provide a way, because he hears your cries. But if you pass that spirit and you pass that down to your child, when it gets time, or your child feel the energy of, I need to cry out too, your child will cry out too, and God will hear both of you. Replenish both of you. You ain't lost nothing. 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 You gotta know. You gotta know. Because if you don't know that you got it, you won't know how to get it. Your spirit may be all that you have. Your prayer may be all that you have. You can still pass it down to your children, because when you feel like God don't hear you, Oh, he hear your children. He hear your